that's fine.
Endeavour, we read you all loud and clear. This completes the air-to-ground voice checks.
Endeavour, the world will be watching as you complete the Kibo module, making the Japanese a fully functional partner. Ite Roshai. Have a nice trip.
You bet, thank you.
$18 seconds.
15.
The sound suppression water system has been activated, protecting Endeavour and the launch pad from acoustical energy. We're go for main engine start. We have main engine start. 4, 3, 2, 1. Booster ignition and liftoff of Endeavour, completing Kibo and fulfilling Japan's hope for an out-of-this-world space laboratory.
Houston, Endeavour, roll program.
Roger, roll, Endeavour.
This is Mission Control Houston. Endeavour's roll maneuver is being completed. It's now going into a heads-down position on track for its flight to the International Space Station. Flying at 400 miles per hour, 1 mile in altitude and 7 miles downrange already from the Kennedy Space Center. Endeavour's engines were throttling down as the orbiter passes through the area of maximum pressure on the vehicle. Now 50 seconds into the flight. At liftoff, the fully fueled shuttle boosters and external tank weighed 4.5 million pounds. The total thrust at launch was 6,425,000 pounds. And external tank separation is confirmed.
The shuttle is now a little over half a mile away from the International Space Station and closing in at a rate of about 3.5 miles per hour. You can see the hardware and equipment that the Space Shuttle Endeavour is delivering to the International Space Station, including the new section of the Japanese Kibo complex. The rendezvous pitch maneuver happening just about exactly on time as Space Shuttle Endeavour maneuvers through this backflip. Commander of the International Space Station, Gennady Padalka, and flight engineer Mike Barrett will be inside the station's VESDA service module, looking out the window and taking photos of the shuttle's heat shield. Commander Mark Polanski carefully aligning Space Shuttle Endeavour to the pressurized mating adapter on the station's Harmony node as it moves in, currently about 75 feet in front of the International Space Station. All members of the Expedition 20 crew here with Gennady Padalka holding the mic.
Station on space to ground 1, no response required. I want to announce this is station's commander about United States Space Shuttle Endeavour Orion and Expedition 20 flight engineer Colonel Tim Cooper arriving.
The combined crews of STS-127 and Expedition 20 are diligently working, getting ready for tomorrow's first spacewalk of the mission.
Open the thermal cover and egress.
Okay, the thermal cover is open and egressing.
Spacewalkers now heading out of the Quest airlock, having gone over their tethers that they'll be using to make sure that they are safely attached to the space station. You're hearing them speak with Mission Specialist Chris Cassidy, who is acting as today's intravehicular officer. Cassidy will be choreographing today's spacewalk from the inside. This is a view from Mission Specialist Dave Wolf's helmet camera, making his way to the Kibo laboratory, where he'll be removing some thermal insulation from the exposed facilities berthing mechanism. You can see from this view in Tim Cobra's helmet camera that he is now at that Japanese exposed facility.
Cover's off.
Good look there. We're at the berthing mechanism that the exposed facility will be installed to once
Copy. Nice survey.
Tim Coper has finished his work inside the shuttle's payload bay. And here's a good view of the space station's robotic arm carefully lifting the external exposed facility out of the shuttle's cargo bay. At the controls of the arm right now are mission specialist Koichi Wakata and pilot Doug Hurley. And inside Shuttle Endeavour at the controls of the shuttle robotic arm are Commander Mark Polanski and mission specialist Julie Payette.
Looking good there, Tim.
Space station robotic arm has now let go of the exposed facility, and the space shuttle robotic arm has hold. DRT is the detent release tool as they begin working, or getting ready to work on that deployment of the cargo attachment system. One of the first things they'll do is actually install that tool, or two of them, onto the attachment system. The installation of it should help clear the jam, and then the next step will be for them to actually unfold the attachment system into its final position.
All right, Dave, we're going to position to pull down on the whole structure.
Give it both directions, Tim. More of it jarring each direction. I don't know which way it's jammed. Go ahead and start. That freed it. Just turned 7 turns.
It is moving.
I can pull it from
It
here.
is moving now. Yep.
Here it is. It's free.
It is free.
John. Houston Endeavour for EVA. Fantastic job to the GRT tool team.
Yeah,
We've got the UCAS free. Houston Endeavour on the big loop. We're putting ICC grapple in work.
We copy.
You can see the space shuttle's arm in motion now. Again, that's being driven by Commander Mark Polanski and pilot Doug Hurley from inside the space shuttle's cabin on the flight deck, where the robotic workstation is for that arm. The view you can see on the end here is the latching end effector, which has wires inside of it that twist to grab onto the small prong you can see sticking up from the cargo carrier. That allows it to pick up the pallet. And all the pallet with its equipment weighs about 8,690 pounds. Almost 6,000 of that, however, is the weight of the pallet itself. So you can see from this view the integrated cargo carrier holding on the spares for the International Space Station is now in motion. You're seeing it rise slowly out of the shuttle's cargo bay. The pallet itself is 8 feet long and 13 feet wide, about 10 inches thick, and it's shaped like a triangle with the corners cut off. It's loaded into the cargo bay pointing down and has connections for heat and electricity to keep the equipment healthy while it waits to be installed. However, flight engineer Tim Coper unhooked those connections during yesterday's spacewalk so that the pallet would be ready to be unloaded today. This is Mission Control Houston, the space station's robotic arm poised to grab onto the integrated cargo carrier, currently being held in place by the space shuttle's robotic arm. Cargo carrier in closer to the